Hey guys, Dr. Mike Dusa here, MTFUcoach.com. How are you? So people sometimes ask me about my schedule and how I get things done. I have found that if your priorities are in line and you really do want what you say you want, even if you don't have the time, you will make the time to get things done, i.e., in this case, working out and getting your meals in. If the body thrives on regularity, kind of like a machine. And if you give the same things, the same times each day, it'll almost become second nature. You don't even think about it, and it's no longer something that's cumbersome and getting in the way of work or other endeavors or whatever else you may have lined up. But in any event, what my average day looks like, I wake up at 4:30. Now I go to bed really early. It doesn't mean I fall asleep right away. I sometimes read in bed. I don't bring the phone or any electronic apparatus into bed anymore. But if I am blessed with sleep at 9 or 9:30, I'll get a good 7 hours in, which is excellent for me. As it stands, recently I'm only getting about 5 hours, but again, I'm feeling good. I'm making progress in all directions, so it works out okay. But I get up at 4:30. I spend about the first 15 to 20 minutes, or sometimes a half hour, meditating. And then I do a lot of writing. I'm working on my second book right now, and it's a good time to clear the mechanism, which is the mind, early in the morning. I tend to get a lot of work done at that time. It's when I answer all of my emails, and I get a lot of emails every day, but I only take that time each day in the morning to answer those emails. That way I'm not interrupted every single day, checking emails in between. Those interruptions, the distractions are the worst things that will pull you away from your goals. It's very easy to be distracted. The average person is bombarded by 5,000 different advertisements a day. So it's very, very, again, in the mornings when everybody's still sleeping and you can hear a pin drop and even the dogs are knocked out, it's when I get a lot of work done. And I spend some time doing these things. My first meal is at 7:30. Now I'm doing about not quite 3,000 calories a day, about 2,800 calories a day, 6 meals. I prepare the food myself every single day. I do 8 meals a day. 2 of them are for Denise, 6 of them for me. I was doing that 42 Tupperware container, which equals 6 meals per day for 7 days. I was doing that for a while, preparing all the food for the week at one time. And by the second or third day, the food started tasting slimy, and I just can't do it. I don't know how you guys do this. So I do the food daily, and I don't mind. I enjoy cooking. It relaxes me. It's a time to think. But the meals are all prepared, about 2,800 calories right now. 40% of my calories come from carbs, 40% from protein, 20% from fats. Seems to be working. I'm at 10.5% body fat right now. I just had Jerry down at Powerhouse test my body fat with the electronic caliper, the Skindex. It's not as accurate as the DEXA scan, but as long as you have the same person do it the same time each week under the same conditions, you will see relative change in your body fat, which is really what you're after, not necessarily the number. But 10.5% is pretty good. I'm going to shoot for 7 or 8% when I peak, so I've got some time, and that's working out. So my nutritional equivalents, 40%, 40%, 20%, are very good. Meal 1 is 2 whole eggs, 5 ounces of lean ground chicken, half of a whole cup of steamed broccoli, and a half cup of oats. My carbohydrates are probably about 200 grams a day right now, maybe a little higher some days, and some days I'll dip it down to 0 and keep my fats even higher. But generally I have some carbs every single meal. It's usually either oatmeal, potatoes, or rice, but I like to go with the oats because they're much easier to cook, and everything is about expediency. That's meal number 1. Workout 1 is 8:30. I do 45 minutes of weights. Remember, you can work out hard or you can work out long, but you can't do both, and I tend to keep it intense. I do a lot of work within a short period of time. That's 45 minutes of weights, half hour on the step mill, and then I'm back home. 11 o'clock is meal 2. Very similar to meal 1, only there's more protein, no eggs, maybe 8 ounces of lean ground chicken, or fish, or turkey, or even a lean red meat like a London broil. That's meal 2. And at this time, I do my telephone consults and distance coaching. I take a very limited number of men above the age of 50 and I work with them on the phone only. I'm very expensive, and there's a reason for that. It doesn't mean it's not value. I'm offering high value, and the gentlemen that I work with value themselves and they value what I do. Therefore, they have no problem paying me. And what do I get out of that? I get people who are very serious and they're no nonsense and they take my advice and they use the information, and nobody's time is wasted. Because believe me, if you want to devour my soul, hire me and then don't listen to me and waste my time and your time. And I don't know why people do this, but it's my responsibility to avoid that. So a select group of men that I work with, I work on the phone for about an hour and a half each day, telephone consults. There's some more writing that follows after that. Then meal 3 is at about 1 p.m. Again, very similar to meal 2, usually almost the same thing. Workout 2, I go to the gym. Right now I do abs every single day. Workout 2 is abs. I do between 20 to 40 sets of abs a day. Mostly weighted exercises, only because that's how it works. If you see my abs are outstanding, and that may sound like a boast, but then again, I have other body parts that are rather weak. So I kind of even out the boasting there by telling you what's not so great. But again, I enjoy working abs. Probably my favorite thing to do. I know it sounds kind of nuts. Nobody's really going to tell you that. If I do more cardio, I'll do it at this times. I might do another half hour. Depends on the condition I'm in. As I was saying, I'm about 10.5% body fat right now, and that's pretty good. So I don't really have to push it that hard. I may amp up the cardio a little bit and the intensity to get leaner as time goes on, and that way that allows me to eat more. So it's not like the 80s when there was a Mike Dusa'S Suicide Canyon diet and we wouldn't eat anything. I keep the calories relatively high. It is body building. It is not body emaciating, and I've always had a problem gaining and maintaining size, so I'm very cognizant of that. Meal 4 p.m. I might change up the protein at this time. If I eat red meat, which will be London broil, I will have it at this time. And with the broccoli and the carbohydrate. I eat broccoli every single meal. I probably eat a 2-pound bag of frozen broccoli a day. Whether you like it or not, listen, at one point when I was working with Evan, I was eating string beans, and I told Evan at one point, I go, look, I'm not really having the bowel movements. He goes, oh, you're eating string beans, the green beans. That's going to bind you up. And he was right. I switched to spinach, and it made me much more regular because gut health, very important. Digestion, very important. Are you deriving the nutrients from the food that you're eating, and are you evacuating the waste? If your body is not like an automaton that way, you're only getting a very limited benefit from the nutrition you're taking in, no matter how good you're eating. So you've got to watch the gut health there. So after 4 p.m., I'm always working. Listen, even if you see me just sitting there, if you listen to Warren Buffett says 85% of his work is done in his head. It's thinking, it's formulating, it's strategizing and building on ideas. And I do a lot of that. And at this time also, I'll take a nap and I'll play with the dogs. I take a 15-minute nap each day. It's very important. When I was younger, listen, it's a wonder I didn't die as far as how hard I drove myself. And it's a wonder I never grew because I never rested. Now, keeping the cortisol levels low, staying in the proper hormonal window, very important, and to rest and to sleep properly, that's an important component. And as far as the dogs, playing with our dogs, my dog, especially Fozzie, I got him at the pound. I just want to segue for a second. If you're going to get a dog, adopt a dog from the pound. Listen, they're usually abused, homeless, dropped off from cruel, terrible families who no longer want them. And if you want a dog to really love you, adopt one, because Fozzie knows that I saved him. And he'll take a bullet for me, and I would take a bullet for him. And hopefully it won't come to that. So it's some relaxation time right there. Meal 5 is at 6:30 p.m. Okay, again, it's very similar to the meals that came before that. And then I'll spend some time with Denise. She'll get home from work. We'll hang out. We'll take a drive. Sometimes I go down to her gym, and I just stay in the lobby, and I'll sit there and read while she works out. It's good because I work from home, and it's good to get out of the house when I can. I'm in this room all the time. It's fun. I enjoy it. But again, you tend to go a little nuts if you don't get out sometimes. I get back home after that, and I get a lot more of my work done at night. Remember, like I said, in the morning I do a lot of my work, and nobody's awake, and at night nobody's working, and nobody's calling, and nobody's bugging me on email. So again, it's uninterrupted time. I get a lot of work done then. My final meal is at about 9 o'clock. It's meal 6, and you know what? I don't believe in that thing where a magical bad thing happens if you eat carbohydrate at night. So that's not why I don't eat carbohydrate. I just don't have any carbohydrate in my final meal. It's high protein, 8 ounces, and I eat a lot of, because sometimes I get hungry, it's hard to sleep. So I'll sometimes eat up to a whole pound of steamed broccoli at that time. Not all the time, but that'll fill my stomach up enough where I'm not hungry and I don't wake up. And if I do cheat, I try to cheat. The biggest cheat type of food we probably have in the house is peanut butter. Denise hides it. We have peanut butter because we feed the dog their pills with the peanut butter, and she's hidden it really well this time because I can't find it. So there hasn't been any cheating, and she's really good like that. Even when I ask her for some, she won't give me any. So she's kind of draconian like that. So that's kind of how my workflow, my day goes. It works. Thoughts, questions, considerations, please put them below. And remember, your comments are my oxygen. I do appreciate it. Dr. Mike Dusa, MTFU Longevity, over 50. You have a great day. Thank you.